Guys, we are lucky to have Precious Miora here, and she's been at the Diddy parties, and she's about to spill some secrets.
And I have to still say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be.
It's hard to believe that two of the most iconic figures in the music industry, Ye's and Diddy Combs, now stand accused of something so shocking that it's sending ripples through Hollywood and beyond. The allegations are jaw-dropping to say the least, and they've left fans and industry insiders reeling. Could the kings of hip-hop, who built empires out of nothing, really have such dark secrets lurking in their past? Let's dive into the details of this explosive new lawsuit and the fallout that's already beginning to unfold.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
The accusations stem from an incident that allegedly took place over 2 decades ago in September 2000 after the MTV Music Awards. The plaintiff, identified only as Jane Doe, claimed she was a minor when she was lured to an after-party by a limousine driver who said he worked for Sean Combs, known at the time as one of the most powerful figures in the music world. According to the lawsuit, the driver allegedly told the young woman she fit the type of person Combs was looking for and invited her to join the party. What followed, according to the accuser, has been described as a horrifying ordeal that has haunted her life ever since.
What happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact-finding.
The lawsuit org filed in October against Sean Combs was amended this past Sunday to include Ye's, whose real name is Sean Carter. The accuser alleges that both men were involved in a heinous act at the after-party, where she claims to have been given a drink that left her feeling disoriented and vulnerable. She describes the party as a wild scene filled with celebrities, illicit substances, and activities that no minor should ever have been exposed to. After feeling woozy from the drink, she says she wandered into a room to lie down, only to be followed by Combs, Carter, and another unnamed high-profile individual. What allegedly happened next has shaken the entertainment industry to its core.
So, civil complaint, simply allegations, needs to be proven in a court of law, but if true, it could rise to the level of criminality, and, we'll see what happens if the DA looks and investigates.
According to the lawsuit, the accuser claims that she was violated by both men, while the unnamed third individual. Watch, the details are harrowing, and the accusations have sparked outrage among fans and critics alike. The plaintiff described fleeing the house in a state of terror and confusion, eventually finding refuge at a nearby gas station, where she called her father for help. Her father later picked her up, and the incident became a buried secret until now.
Yes.
Mr. Diddy, aka Mr. Love. Now,
No, Sean Carter.
Plaintiff's attorney, Tony Busby, of attempting a shakedown.
Both Jay-Z and Sean Combs have denied the allegations. Jay-Z, in particular, issued a fiery statement calling the claims idiotic and accusing the plaintiff's attorney, Tony Busby, of attempting a shakedown. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one, Carter wrote in his statement, adding, whomever would commit such an act against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? He went on to suggest that the lawsuit is nothing more than an attempt to extract money from high-profile celebrities. Combs' legal team has also hit back hard, describing the lawsuit as a shameless publicity stunt orchestrated by Busby, who has been involved in a series of high-profile lawsuits against Combs in recent months. In their statement, Combs' representative said these false allegations are designed to exploit the fear of reputational damage that comes with being a celebrity. Mr. Combs has full confidence that the truth will prevail, however. The timing of this lawsuit couldn't be worse for Combs, who is already facing a slew of other legal and criminal troubles, including federal charges that have left him sitting behind bars in a New York detention center.
Yesterday, on Monday, Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily, so I guess right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind.
Combs' legal woe began escalating earlier this year when he was charged with racketeering and other offenses. Prosecutors allege that Combs used his business empire to engage in illegal activities spanning years. The accusations range from organizing illicit networks to fostering environments where exploitation could thrive, and now with this new lawsuit, the spotlight on Combs is harsher than ever. Some insiders are even speculating that the pressure could lead to more revelations about his past, potentially dragging other high-profile figures like Jay-Z further into the fray. Jay-Z's inclusion in the lawsuit came as a shock to many, as his public image has long been one of a self-made mogul who rose from the Marcy projects in Brooklyn to become one of the most influential figures in music and business. However, critics have pointed out that his rise to fame hasn't been without controversy, from his days as a street hustler to his infamous stabbing of record producer Lance Rivera in 1999. Jay-Z has faced his share of legal troubles. Still, nothing in his past compares to the gravity of these new allegations, which, if proven true, could irreparably damage his legacy.
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed.
The lawsuit claims that before the alleged incident, the plaintiff had been dropped off at the MTV Music Awards by a friend. Though she didn't have a ticket to attend, desperate to be part of the action, she reportedly approached limousine drivers outside the venue hoping to hitch a ride to an after-party. It was then the lawsuit alleges that she encountered the driver, who eventually led her to Combs and Carter. Once at the party, she says she was required to sign what she believed was a non-disclosure agreement before being allowed inside, the accuser claims. The document made her hesitant to come forward for years, fearing legal repercussions if she spoke out. The legal battle is just beginning, but already both sides are digging in their heels. Tony Busby, the attorney representing the plaintiff, has remained largely silent in the media, but his past work speaks volumes. Known for taking on high-profile cases against powerful figures, Busby has been called a bulldog by both his supporters and critics. However, this isn't the first time his methods have come under scrutiny. Jay-Z, in his statement, accused Busby of attempting to orchestrate a smear campaign, even going so far as to sue Busby himself in a countersuit. "You've made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same," Carter said in his statement. "I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games." Despite the denials and counterclaims, the accusations have already begun to tarnish the reputations of both men. Fans have taken to social media to express shock, with some calling for a boycott of their music and business ventures until the allegations are thoroughly investigated. Others have pointed to the broader issue of accountability in the entertainment industry, questioning how such powerful figures could operate unchecked for so long. The lawsuit has righted discussions about the culture of silence and complicity that often surrounds high-profile individuals, with many asking how these allies could have been buried for over 2 decades. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York has declined to comment on whether they are investigating the claims against Carter, but legal experts suggest that the case could take an unexpected turn if criminal charges are eventually filed. Civil lawsuits like this are often just the tip of the iceberg. One legal analyst speculated if there's enough evidence to support these claims, we could see a domino effect where more accusations come to light.
Start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it, it's long, where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
The lawsuit also alleges that before the party, the plaintiff's lawyer sent a letter to Jay-Z requesting mediation, but no resolution was reached. Instead, the letter seems to have fueled Carter's anger, leading him to file his own lawsuit against the attorneys involved. "This isn't about finding the truth," Carter said in his statement. This is about creating chaos and hoping someone will pay to make it go away. But I won't, not now, not ever. As the lawsuit unfolds, one question looms large. How far will this scandal go, with Combs already facing criminal charges and a trial scheduled for next year? The stakes couldn't be higher. And with Jay-Z now implicated, the drama has reached new heights. Could this be the beginning of the end for two of the most iconic figures in hip-hop? Or will their immense wealth and influence shield them from accountability? Once again,
part of the indictment, that's someone like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or no.
But this isn't just a story about two men. It's a story about an industry that has long been plagued by whispers of exploitation and abuse. As more details emerge, the spotlight will continue to shine not only on the accused, but on the culture that allowed such allegations to fester for so long. And as the public waits for answers, one thing is certain: the world is watching. With these allegations now public, the narrative takes a chilling turn as we explore the broader history of violence and controversy that has followed Diddy and Jay-Z throughout their careers. Could this new lawsuit finally expose the secrets they've worked so hard to keep hidden? Let's take a closer look. The story doesn't stop with the lawsuit. In fact, it's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the controversy surrounding Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs. These two men may be celebrated as icons, innovators, and business moguls, but their history is riddled with shadowy allegations and incidents that paint a far darker picture than their polished public persona suggest. As the lawsuit drags their names into the spotlight once again, there's a growing focus on the long-standing claims of violence, power plays, and exploitation that have followed them for years. Could these latest accusations finally push the music industry to confront what it's ignored for decades?
But so there's still, I mean, it's crazy too because there's still more happening in court. Like, I mean, everything is still active, even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore. And the people may be fatigued, like we talked about.
Let's start with Combs. His career has been a masterclass in invention, from his early days as a scrappy intern at Uptown Records to founding one of the most successful record labels of all time, Bad Boy Entertainment. K has always known how to stay ahead of the game, but his climb to the top wasn't without casualties. Over the years, stories have emerged from former colleagues, artists, and even personal acquaintances about his explosive temper and a ruthless need for control. It's a reputation that goes back to his college days at Howard University, when he was already showing signs of the behavior that would define much of his career. One particularly chilling story from that time involves an alleged public altercation with a former girlfriend. Witnesses claim that Combs, enraged over an argument, confronted the young woman outside her dormitory and physically lashed out at her in full view of other students. Accounts describe him using a belt during the incident, leaving bystanders stunned and terrified. This early example of his alleged violent tendency seems to set the stage for what would follow as his power and influence grew. Despite this, his charisma and sheer determination propelled him forward, earning him a position at Uptown Records, where he quickly became a rising star in the music industry.
Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes,
new.
There already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession.
But even at Uptown, trouble seemed to follow him. Combs was instrumental in shaping the careers of artists like Mary J. Blige and Joe Disi. But his ambition and aggressive tactics reportedly caused friction with his colleagues. His infamous firing from Uptown in 1993 after an over-promoted charity basketball game ended in tragedy marked a pivotal moment in his career. 9 people lost their lives in a stampede caused by overcrowding. And although Combs wasn't charged with any wrongdoing, the incident left a stain on his reputation. Many in the industry began to whisper about his recklessness, and tendency to put ambition above all else after being let go from Uptown Combs didn't miss a beat. He launched Bad Boy Entertainment, which would go on to dominate the 90s music scene, but while the label was churning out hit after hit behind the scenes, a different story was unfolding. Combs artists were often locked into contracts that heavily favored the label, with some alleging that they were financially exploited. Former Bad Boy artist Mark Curry, who spent nearly a decade under the label, detailed in his book how Combs would allegedly take the lion's share of profits from his artist work, while leaving them with little to show for their success. Curry described the experience as soul-crushing, claiming that Combs' business tactics were designed to keep his artists dependent on him.
Occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
And then there's the infamous East Coast v. West Coast feud, which turned into one of the most dangerous chapters in hip-hop history. While Combs wasn't directly involved in the violence that erupted between the two coasts, many believe he played a role in escalating tensions his rivalry with. Death Row Records founder Shoe Knight became a public spectacle, with the two men taking shots at each other in the media and through their music. The feud ultimately culminated in the tragic losses of two of hip-hop's greatest talents, Shocker and the Notorious Big, who was signed to Combs' label. To this day, questions linger about Combs' involvement in the events leading up to these tragedies, with some alleging that he knew more than he let on. But perhaps most troubling are the allegations of physical and emotional abuse that have come from Combs' personal relationships. His long-term partner, Kim Porter, who was the mother of 3 of his children, reportedly endured years of turmoil during their on-again, off-again relationship. Friends and associates of the couple have claimed that their relationship was toxic, with Porter allegedly suffering from CMS controlling behavior and outbursts. In one shocking story, Combs is said to have attacked another man, Shocker Stewart, with a chair after learning that Stewart had started dating Porter. Though Stewart survived the incident, the violent outburst left many in the industry shaken.
So basically, I was a Playboy bunny. So a Playboy bunny representing New York State. The reason why I need to clarify this is when you're a Playboy bunny, you are part of the corporation, and you are a bunny, and you do have a title, and you wear a uniform, but you don't get a month.
Fast forward to recent years, and the accusations against Combs have only grown more severe. Former employees have come forward with allegations of mistreatment, describing a hostile work environment where fear and intimidation were the norm. One particularly disturbing claim came from his former chef, who alleged that she was often required to serve meals to Combs and his guests while they were engaged in inappropriate activities. The chef claimed that when she tried to distance herself from the situation, she was met with retaliation. And then there's the case of Cassie Ventura, the singer and model who was in a long-term relationship with Combs for nearly a decade. When Cassie filed her lawsuit against him in 2023, accusing him of years of emotional and physical torment, it sent shockwaves through the industry. The details she provided painted a harrowing picture of a man who used his power and influence to manipulate and control her. Cassie's claims included instances of violent outburst threats and even financial coercion. While Tom's legal team denied the allegations, the lawsuit sparked a broader conversation about the culture of silence and complicity in the music industry.
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated.
But Combs isn't the only one facing scrutiny. Jay-Z, whose inclusion in the recent lawsuit has shocked fans, has also faced his share of controversies over the years. While he's often celebrated as a business genius and a cultural icon, his past is far from squeaky clean. One of the most infamous incidents came in 1999, when Jay-Z was charged with stabbing record producer Lance Rivera. The altercation reportedly stemmed from accusations that Rivera had leaked Jay-Z's album ahead of its release. Jay-Z eventually pleaded guilty to a lesser charge and avoided jail time, but the incident remains a dark mark on his record. And let's not forget Jay-Z's own admission of his troubled past as a hustler before he found fame. He's often spoken about his early involvement in illegal activities, which he claims taught him the business skills he later used to build his empire. While some admire his ability to turn his life around, others question whether his past actions should be judged more harshly, especially in light of the allegations in the current lawsuit.
Jay-Z got his whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got it after. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your whooped.
Then there's the criticism Jay-Z has faced over his business dealings. While he's undoubtedly one of the most successful artists turned entrepreneurs in history, his rise hasn't been without controversy. Some former collaborators have accused him of prioritizing profit over loyalty, with several alleging that he abandoned them once they were no longer useful to his brand. Even his partnership with the NFL, which he described as a way to bring meaningful change to the league, was met with backlash from those who felt he was more interested in securing his own financial interests than advocating for social justice. Both Jay-Z and Combs have built public personas as self-made success stories, but the allegations against them suggest a much darker reality. Their stories raise uncomfortable questions about the music industry as a whole. How many other powerful figures have used their influence to silence allegations and protect their reputations, and how many more victims have been too afraid to come forward?